Hello, hello everyone. Welcome back to Shikuya Let's Upskill. And today in this growth class, I'm going to teach you, I'm going to talk to you, I'm going to share some of my experiences about academic project management. And as you can see on the screen, that 7 things you should know about your academic projects. So I'm going to just wait for some minutes, some seconds rather, so that I would be able to see people, those who are joining to this session, and I can see that students have already started to join. Parth Mahajan, I welcome Parth, I welcome you into this session. Good evening, good evening. So I'm going to just wait for a couple of seconds so that I would be able to get more people into the session. So good evening Parth, stay with me till the end of the session. So I would like to just request all these viewers, those who have joined me into the session, just go and subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you will be able to get a lot of updates about placement preparation. So this particular session is for those who are actually into engineering or maybe into some technical courses like MCA, MBA or like this, where they have projects, right? Bokre Sudarshan, welcome to the session. So I was saying, any student who has got an academic project into their curriculum, the session is for them, right? Because projects are very important part of your academic journey. Project is actually a very important stepping stone in the journey of your entire graduation or undergraduation, I can say. So this video is going to talk, or this video is going to give you a brief knowledge about the academic project management. So stay tuned with me till the end of this video. And if you are not subscribed yet to the channel, please do subscribe so that you will keep on getting a lot of placement related updates. So I would like to take it forward. I'm going to go on the next slide where I have a small introduction about Shikuya. So as you can see on the screen, I have to adjust myself. So we are Shikuya. Basically, we help people to get their first job, to grab their first job, right? And the company name is O2 Breathing Brains Private Limited. I have a brief introduction, a 2-line introduction of Shikuya on the slide. So you will be able to see it on the screen now. As you can see, Shikuya is basically a democratized platform for upskilling, skilling and hiring with India's first employability credit index. So look on the screen, you can check on the screen the definition of Shikuya, or what we actually do. Yes, Madhuri Galande, welcome. So welcome to the session, and without wasting any time here, I would like to take it forward. So today I have these contents. You will be able to see it on the screen immediately. So just for your clarification, just for your understanding, look at the points that I have, or the different aspects of project management that I'm going to cover today. They are importance of academic project, right? Myths versus facts. There are a lot of misunderstanding and prejudices the students carry into the entire graduation journey. So I'm going to talk on that. Next is it's going to be about project selection, project planning. Then we are going to talk about execution of the actual project. Then we would be covering these things, report writing, and you can check me on my back. You can check here, report writing, and finally I'm going to talk about presentation of the academic project that you have done. You know, this term is getting popular these days, and that term is called as project based learning. Project based learning. So this is very important as far as a technical course is concerned. Even non-technical courses like psychology or any other things are concerned, project is going to be really important. So in my first thing that you are going to understand, that you are going to know about this project management is importance of academic project. Are you getting my point? The second is myths versus fact, and these are the 7 things that you should know. So to know these things in detail, stay tuned with me by the end of this video, and don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel, right? So let's go ahead on the next slide. And on the next slide, you can see that these are the reasons, or these are the possible reasons of importance of your academic project. So just try to understand that academic project builds, or academic project demonstrates the skills or capabilities. Like, let me give you an example of an engineering student. So when he enters into engineering, he learns around 6 subjects a semester. So by the end of first semester, he is going to learn 6 subjects, or when he completes his first year, he had learned and he had given the exams for minimum 12 subjects. So when he is in the second year, the tally goes to 24, and when he completes his engineering, he is going to learn around 48 subjects. Are you getting my point? This is very, very, very important. But out of this 48 subjects, right, the only part where you can demonstrate your skills as an engineer is the project that you are going to do. I always tell all of my students that, see, there are 2 terminologies, employability and eligibility. So basically, eligibility is your degree certificate that university gives you, or college gives you, or institutes gives you, sorry. But employability is a term, or it's something that you have to earn. So if you want to become employable, you have to be very careful and you have to be very serious about your academic projects. Are you getting my point? So this is the only area when you say that I have learned Python, or I have learned Java, or probably somebody from mechanical, they can say that I have learned something about thermodynamics or designing, right? So your project is going to talk about what you have learned and what you have done with what you know. So when you say that I have worked on this project, this is my project, these were the steps of my project, when you will talk, why did you selected this project? What inspired you, what encouraged you to select this particular project, and then you will go and you will work out on that particular project along with your team members. That actually, this project actually narrates your story about engineering. Are you able to understand my point? So this is a very important statement. Your academic project narrates your engineering story. If your project is really good, if your project is solving a very significant problem, even though that problem or that particular application or device or system is available in the market, that's fair enough. We know that engineering students are going to come up with some prototype models in the project, right? So that is fair, that is absolutely acceptable, that is absolutely okay. But the most important part is you should think like that. So this academic project is going to demonstrate your skills, what you have learned, and your capabilities. So that is the first and the foremost important significance or important factor, important aspect, that it is actually a demonstration of your skills. What is the second point? What is the second importance? When you work for a project, when you work on a project, you have to work along with your team members, right? When you start doing or start working on project, your guide gives you a team of people. Your college guide or your guide gives you a list of extremely sorry, 4 to 5 people along with you, right? So it helps you to understand how to behave in a team, right? Because when you are alone, when you are working single on a certain project, everything is under your control. But when you're working in a group of 3 to 4 people, it is going to depend upon all these people, right? How they work, how they behave, their habits, right? Their seriousness about your project. It may be the case that you are very serious about your project, but the group member that you have is not that much serious. Then that's a behavioral trait. You feel that the other member is not serious. Now here is an opportunity that you will learn how to handle that particular person. And why this is important, let me tell you. When you join a corporate company and you start working with a team of around 10, 15 or 50 people, it is very important to understand the team dynamics. Every time it's not going to happen that whatever you said is right, or whatever you are trying to convince others, they will be convinced. So before you enter into that environment of corporate, before you go to come actually to that particular environment of company, this is an opportunity. Project is an opportunity to build a team and learn team management. But I have observed since last 10 years that when a academic project group is formed, students themselves decide who should be my team member. So when in the second year or third year, they come to know from their seniors that in the final year we have got a project. So what they do is they start forming team on their level. I think that's a bad idea to do. You just leave this part of formation of team to your guide, right? You should not dictate who should be your team members, because when you form a team that you want, you all as a group goes to a comfort zone, because you and your friend, your 3 friends, you know each other. You know how you work very well as a team, because it might be possible that you might have worked as a team in the past, right? So that is not at all effective. Build a team with some new people. Build a team with such a people with whom you have never worked. Are you able to understand my point? So this is very important, that this project is going to help you to build team and make sure that your team, you are forming a team with less acquainted or new people in your classroom, so that you will get a full opportunity, you will get a complete opportunity to enhance or empower your team building skills. Got it? What's the next point? Next point we have here is mastering planning and execution. And definitely these two are important factors, because see, visualization, even in the next point I have is visualization. Okay, I can see some comments are there, but I will take it later on, right? So as you can see in the slide or on the screen, that there are 2 points: mastering the planning and execution. The most important part of any project, let it be academic project, let it be industrial project, or even if a small event that you are organizing for your departmental activities or at your home, planning is the most important and crucial factor of everything. Do you understand this? So when you start working on your project, the more accurate will be your project planning, right? Or the more to the extent of accuracy that you are going to have in your planning, that's going to support you in your execution. So typically, if you look at the project, academic projects, basically they start at the final year of any undergraduation. Let it be this computer science, let it be engineering, or any non-technical graduation in BA, BCom, or anything. So in the final year, when you get admitted to the final year, in the first or second month, you will start to think of project, right? In the later part of this growth class, I am going to talk about the various phases of your project, so I am not going to waste time here. But in the first 2 months, you will start working on the project. So you have to sit with your team members, you have to sit with your guide, and then you have to plan for the entire year. You are going to plan for next 12 months, probably not 12 months, 9 months, maybe in the April you will have your examinations, right? So you will plan for this 9 months. So this gives you visualization. What are the possibilities? What are the factors where you are going to fail on your planning? You will be able to do all these things. You can brainstorm, you can form subgroups of various things. Say for example, there could be one person who is going to take care of procurement of various components or things that are required for project. There could be a group of 2 or 3 people, those who are going to communicate to some industry people about your project, or they are going to bring some sponsorships for your project. There could be someone who is going to lead the project, right? Or who is going to have who is going to be the single point of contact with your guide for all the communication. So all these things are a part of planning and execution. So this project management, this academic project management, is actually giving you a mock trial of planning and execution. So this is very important. You are going to learn planning to a very serious extent, or this becomes a very serious affair when you are working on an academic project, right? But obviously you have to be very serious about your project. If you're going to just buy your project from somebody else and you're going to present to your academic examination, then that's going to be a big failure, right? So planning, learning how to plan and how to execute project is going to give you that. What next? Visualizing and decision making. This is important. Anticipation power is a very important factor to become a successful professional as well as an independent person in your life. You should be able to anticipate that what are the possibilities, or what are the things that may happen in your upcoming future, right? So when you say that you're working on a project, you should be able to anticipate that I need these components or these material in the next 2 weeks. They are required. So this is what anticipation or visualization is all about. Now when you will understand that you need these components or these material or these particular things in the next 2 weeks, you will start thinking in that way. You know, when you construct home, your civil engineer has to do a lot of planning of people, those who are going to work at the site, planning of various raw material that is required. For example, sand, steel, right, bricks, all these things are required, and it is not cost affordable. It is not affordable, or it is not cost effective that on one day the material is not available, on the other day the workers are not available, because the more you are going to waste time in such things, the cost of the project is going to increase. It's going to, we call it as inflation, right? So this is going to happen. So this visualization, this anticipation, and the decision making. Say for example, if on one fine day you understand or you realize that you're not going to get this component at a particular right time, then you have to take decisions in such a way or in the favor of your project. So this decision making is also important, and that you are going to learn in this project management. So that is very important. And finally, as you can see on the screen, that grooming the domain skills, right? So when you say that you're working on a project, that is actually going to help you in improvising your technical skills. But most importantly, you yourself have to work on that. Unless that's not going to happen. It is going to help you to build your presentation skills. It is going to help you in I can say documentation. It's going to help you in writing reports. So there are a lot of skills that you are going to learn in the project management. So project management is very important, and most importantly, this is missing on the slide, or I have intentionally not put it in this slide because I'm going to cover it in the next slide. And that point is your complete technical interview for any any recruitment happens on your project, academic project. Do you understand my point? So just look at it. Let me just revise and I will go ahead. You're going to learn a lot of skills, you're going to build a lot of capabilities. That is the first advantage. Second advantage is you are going to learn something about planning and execution. Next is you are going to learn something which is very important as anticipation and decision making, and finally you are going to sharpen your technical skills. Got it? So let's go ahead. So on the next slide I have some myths versus facts. The first popular myth that all the students have is on my right side, right? And that is, it is not important. Projects are not important. I think on the previous slide itself, I have spoken a lot about importance of project. And as I said earlier, your entire technical interview, your complete technical interview is based on your project. What happens usually is when an interviewer starts interviewing you, specifically technical interview, he starts to skim through your resume. So in the initial part of this entire interview, he tries to understand that what you have done, which is your favorite subject, why this particular is your favorite subject, kind of thing. And when he understands that, either you are giving good answers to the earlier questions, or you are failing, or you are not able to give the correct answers. In both the cases, he will jump to your project knowledge within few minutes. Initially, once you are going to pass through the initial acquaintance phase of that interview, he will definitely jump to your project knowledge. Now he will start asking such questions: why did you selected this project? Or he might come up after listening to you, he may come up with such a stance that already there are a lot of projects available on this particular problem that you are trying to solve or you are trying to address, right? So these things may come in front of you. So this is very, very important that your complete technical interview is based on your project, your mini project and your mega project. So don't consider this or don't treat this as less important or less significant in your employability or in getting your first job. You know, I usually conduct a webinar, even on the next webinar I have on 12th. So the name of the webinar is Anatomy of First Job. You know, in my webinar, I usually cover this point to extensive length, to a more, I can say, I do it more elaboratively about projects. But project is going to turn your success in interviews or technical interviews to a large extent. So never underestimate the power of projects. Are you getting my point? Next myth that students have is, look this side, can be purchased. Students think that it's possible. We have hundreds of people in the market to whom we can go, we can buy some projects, right? And fair, we will get the project from him, we will just study over the night about the project and all, and we will go. But when your technical interview starts, the interviewer starts asking you a lot of questions about your project. For example, explain me the block diagram of your project, which sensor you have used, which material you have used. If your project is on programming side, then he will ask you, tell me your database architecture, explain this particular code to me. So when he will start asking such detailed questions, and if you have just purchased or just taken the project from somebody else, that particular time in that situation, there will be a huge lack of knowledge on your side. You won't be able to explain these things to that interviewer, and that will be a failure moment for you. So never ever leave with this assumption never ever go with this assumption that projects can be purchased from somebody else, right? Definitely you can take help from somebody who is a professional. You can go and have a coach who is going to help you in project. That is absolutely fair. But when he is working on your project, you have to go and you have to sit there, you have to be very curious to know all these things. Then and then only you will be able to have a detailed knowledge about all these things, right? Are you getting my point? The third point is, look at this. We have a group of 4 people or we have a group of 5 people. So others will do it. Let them do that. I'm going to stay calm and relax. Always, every time, whenever such situation comes, you never take the responsibility. You just, I can say, transfer, or you can just, say that no, let them do it. You doesn't go forward and take that responsibility, and that's the biggest problem as far as the technical interviews or your assessment. When you are going to get assessed by the interviewer, he will realize that you have done nothing, because there will be a lack of confidence. Do you understand my point? When you do something on your own, when you take the responsibility, you face the challenges, right? You will have a confidence because you have done something for solving that particular problem. So if you have solved a particular problem on your own and somebody is asking you about it, your confidence level is really high. This is very important, that you should work on your project very sincerely, very seriously, as your other team members are doing. Now there could be a doubt in your mind that, sir, I am very serious about my project, but my team members are not serious. They are not working. Now, if this is the situation, I think it is your responsibility to make them accountable to some extent. Please educate them. Please let them know that they are not on the right track, they are not working. But I said to some extent, because you cannot change a particular person in 9 months. You cannot change his behavior. So to some extent, it is your responsibility as a project member, as a group member, that please make them accountable. If they're not at all serious about these things, leave it. Work on your level, focus on your career. That is more important, because nobody is going to pay you or nobody is going to select you for educating the other team members. To some extent, it is very important as a leader to help them to be on track. But if they're not listening, go ahead and do it on your own. So these are the 3 myths that are usually seen in the engineering or any graduating students. So don't do this mistake. That is not correct, right? So let's go ahead on the next slide. And probably I'm towards the end of this session, because in growth classes I cannot continue for a long time. I would like to keep it very short and brief. So as you can see, look at this slide. These are the phases. Actually, these are the 7 things, as well as these are the phases. So what is the first thing? Project selection. When you enter into your final year, you will start searching for your project. Now 90% of the people go to Google, topics for engineering projects, topic for psychology projects, topic for English literature, whatever it may be. Now they will find a long list of topics, and they will either opt that one topic from that list. Second, they go to their senior, they will talk to them, and they will request that you give me your project. And I have seen a lot of seniors, if they have spent say 10,000 on their project, now for the juniors, what they will do is, they will ask that junior that, see, I have spent 10,000, now you take my project and give me 6,000. Are you getting my point? This happens, but this is the wrong way of project selection. This is the wrong way. You yourself are going to destroy your career journey if you're going to do that. So project selection is basically a very important step. Any project or anything being built in this world is actually originates from a problem. So when you will start to solve any problem, any small or big problem, then the innovation starts. There the innovation starts. Now, being into engineering, you can look around you, you can see around you what all are the problems. And it might be possible that somebody else in the past might have tried to solve the same problem that you are going to pick up. But any problem can have multiple solutions, multiple thought processes, multiple insights. Even if you look at the industry, there are hundreds of companies providing the same solutions and same services to a lot of customers, but still each company have their own customers. Are you getting my point? Yes or no? Say for example, if you want to build a banking software, you will find thousands of companies those who are providing banking softwares. So based on the cost, geography, or the nature of the project or nature of the software, everyone, even though there are thousands of companies, they are there, they are doing their business, they are earning money, and they are happy. Even the companies are happy, the customers are happy. In the same way, even if somebody might have tried to solve the same problem, you can pick that project. There is no problem at all. So whenever you are thinking of solving some problem, and you are coming up with a project idea that I'm going to solve this problem, that is incredible. So instead of going on Google, you try to find some real world problems around you. So usually in my webinar or in my training session or in our training session, we cover this project selection process to a very micro level, very detailed level, or to a detailed extent, so that becomes very helpful for all of you. The next is execution. The next is planning, right? As I said, when your project selection is done, because anyways the group is already formed, when you are going to select a project, that should be a unanimous decision. When I conduct technical interviews, I usually ask this question: why did you selected this project? The students say that our guide said, my brother told me, my colleague told me. That's fair. Your colleague or your brother or your guide can suggest you, they can recommend you that you can do this project. But unless you are not going to accept, you are not going to internalize that this is a very important problem, significant problem to solve, till that moment you cannot accept the project. So when somebody asks you, why did you select this project, you should say that I thought this is a good problem to solve that is going to help everybody, so I selected this project. You cannot say that somebody else told me and hence I have selected this project, right? So your group is formed, project selection should be a serious affair as a group, and you should do that. Second, once your project selection is finalized, the second phase is planning. So planning is fundamentally includes everything. You should first of all try to understand, or when it comes to academic project, that synopsis is also important. First phase is to write synopsis, a short summary of what you're going to do. Then you have to give it to your guide. You have to convince your guide on the synopsis that this is a very important project we are going to do. Then you have to take approval from him, and then after you will start actually working. So planning is something very important. You have to have phases of planning. So 3 months planning. So when your first semester is going to end, what percentage of your project should be completed, right? What percentage you're going to keep for the post Diwali or post first semester, that is also important. Then when it comes to project planning, you should understand, you should anticipate that what raw material is required, whether you need somebody's help, somebody expert's help. That should be a part of your planning, right? So when you are into the planning, there are multiple things that you have to take care, and you have to prepare weekly, monthly, maybe quarterly, and then a complete project plan. And you should have a presentation slide, or probably I can say you should have a section in your synopsis that should cover all this project planning. You should write it you should declare to your team and your guide that this is our project plan, we are going to follow this plan. Everybody should be unanimously agreed to this plan, and then roles and responsibility allocation should be done in the planning itself, and then you will jump to the execution. So according to the responsibilities given, according to the roles allocated to team members, everybody has to work on that. They have to report their team lead as well as the project guide. So that's what about the execution. Execution is very important, no doubt, but please remember that don't think that unless your project is not going to execute it, because this psychology is, or this thought process is directly related to selection. Many times students hesitate to take some difficult projects. What they think is, in case my project is not executed, or that is not being executed, I will get less marks in my project. That's not true. Academicians, your guide, or the external who is going to come to your evaluation, he understands that it is not every time possible that your project will actually execute. Even if your prototype is not working, but still you have done everything that is important and required, he will be more than happy. So when it comes to execution, project demonstration or the final demo is not the only criteria of your evaluation. So keep this in mind. Give your 100% and do the execution. There are a lot of things in the execution that we usually discuss in our workshop, in the detailed workshop. Next is report writing, right? Report writing is an art. You cannot take somebody else's report and copy paste and put it into that. Report writing is actually a representation whatever you have done in your project. Now report writing tools are available, report writing formats are available, and that is going to be something really worth to learn, because even if you have missed out something in your demonstration, but you have included in the report, that is actually going to be with you for the lifetime. When you will go for your post graduation, you won't be able to carry that setup of your project, right? It is not possible to have all the hardwares of your project with you, but this report is going to give you something worth, or I can say your report is going to give you a weightage, or it is going to prove, it's going to demonstrate that you had done all these things in your report. So this is very important. There are a lot of tools to write report. You should not focus on those index page, right? That is a clerical thing, I think. The index should be in this way, the diagram should come in this particular way, there should be JPG image, there should be PNG image. All these are clerical things. There are a lot of software tools available that can help you in writing the report. As far as the technical clerical part is concerned, as manuscript part is concerned, you focus on the components of your say report. You focus on the results that you're going to get out of the project, the data, the mathematical, the statistical data that you are going to write in your report. That is more important than this clerical aesthetic part. Do you understand this? So in our workshop, we usually help students to understand the tools and softwares that are going to help you in report writing. The final is presentation. So presentation is something that gives you only 5 minutes. So this is the time where these are the 5 to 10 minutes time. It's a duration, it's a small stint of time you are going to get to represent whatever you have done in the last 9 months. So you have to work at least 1 month or 1.5 months as a team on your presentation. You should, as you have done role allocation in your project, responsibility allocation in your project, similarly you should have allocation of various information that you are going to share with the panel juries at the time of your project evaluation. So you should give a chance to everybody to speak something, or you should be able to do allocation in such a way that whatever they have done in the project, whatever responsibility they have done in the project, they should come in the presentation and they should talk on that. So there has to be a wonderful presentation with all the statistics, data and result. So we usually give a template to build a presentation, academic project presentation, so that student will be able to understand how to do or how to write a report writing as well as presentation. And That's how is all about the various phases of any project. So I would like to take you to the first slide once again towards the end of my growth class. So as you can check on the index, these are the 7 factors, these are the 7 things that you should know about your academic project management. As I was supposed to keep this a short and brief session, I have not covered in detail. So if you want to learn project management or academic project management in detail, in depth, if you want to get a workbook from our side for project management, we usually give a workbook where we help you to note down everything, where we help you to understand everything about project management, then just drop us an email at info@shikuya.com. Just drop us an email at info@shikuya.com. You can join our Telegram channel as well. Probably the link is given in the bio, in the description, so that you will be able to get a lot of updates. Thank you so much for joining this growth class, watching this growth class, viewing this growth class. Don't forget to subscribe your channel. Thank you so much.